Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Spirit Guide Show. Thank you for taking the time to hang out with me today on your weekend. Let me know if you can hear me and see me. That would be awesome. And in the meantime, also let me know where you're from. I know Hero already asked. Thank you, Hero. By the way, I hope you're fine and your family's fine. Hero's from Japan, and there was some typhoon, and he couldn't attend last week because of that. So, Hero, let us know if you're okay. As you might know, or might not know yet, October is Spiritual Activism Month. So, all episodes of the Spirit Guide Show throughout October are dedicated to this common theme and culminate in a live group ceremony on October 26th, during which you will be assisted by your spirit guides to step into your purpose. And purpose is a big theme for lots of spiritual people, so I wanted to dedicate a whole month to it. So again, during this month, I will teach you to be a bridge between the spirit world and the human world. And we talked about that last time a little bit. Live with purpose every day. We will talk about that today, and make this world a better place with the help of your spirit guides. And that will come as well. You will receive all the relevant info via email every Friday, as always. So every Friday, you will get the invitation for the show on Saturday. Last month's theme was First Contact, and it was all about connecting with your spirit guides for the first time. If you missed it, you can watch the replays here, and I'll post that in the chat. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong link. Forget about that one. Hold on. I think this should be the one. All right, so it's the second link. Forget about the first one. I'm not sure if I can delete it. Yes, I can. Awesome. All right. So today is the second episode in our new spiritual activism series, and we will talk about how your spirit guides can help you live your purpose. By the end of the show, you will know why now is the time to step up and take action, how to recognize the signs your spirit guides are sending you about your life's purpose, and how to discover your purpose by living with purpose every day. In the second part of the show, we're going to do a Q&A. Usually you guys have lots of awesome questions, and I'm happy to answer them. And then in the last part, in the third part, we'll do mini readings for those of you who've never had a mini reading or any reading from me before. So get ready for that as well. Before we start, let me introduce myself to the ones that are new here. Welcome. My name is Yamile Yemoonyah, and I'm a spirit guide medium, which means that I can give you messages from your spirit guides. I'm a Hay House author. I'm writing my first book right now, and I'm the founder of Spirit Guide Society, which I will tell you about a little bit later. And you can find me at thespiritguidemedium.com. That's my website. And here's the link. And yeah, let me know in the chat. Do you know your life purpose? Or do you think you know your life purpose? Type yes or no. I'm curious how many of you think you do, how many of you think you don't. While you're at it, share this, share the Spirit Guide Show with anyone who you think might be interested. There's a share button somewhere, I think in the top, I think up here, but I'm not 100% sure because it's a little bit different for you guys. But find that share. It says literally share, and you can invite your friends over. So also, if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, come on over here. There's a link in the description, either below or above, depending on where you're watching, because only here can I ask your questions, and only here can I give you a mini reading. If you have any tech issues, reload your page or refresh your browser. That solves 99% of all problems, especially if you can't hear me anymore, can't see me anymore, and you're then post in the chat, see if anyone else has the problem. If no one does, reload your page, refresh your browser. If everyone else has problems, then I'll try to fix it. All right, so we have lots of people today. And we have, like I said, Hiro from Japan. We have Eric from Prague. We have, let's see, Lisa from El Paso, Texas. We have Karen from Northern California. Deborah from Florida's West Coast. Hi, Deborah. I'll get back to your email later. And thanks again for yesterday. Oh, by the way, this is important. My car broke down yesterday, and I'm waiting for someone, a friend who might wants to fix it. I do not think he's gonna come now, but I might have to open the door for him. That's what happens when you do this live, but I don't think it's gonna happen, just in case. We have Arlene from Austin, Gita from Bahrain. We have, oh, everyone's telling me that you can hear me. Perfect. We have George from Low Desert, Southern California. We have Raul from India and Maria from California. Awesome. And then I asked you guys, do you know your purpose yet? George says no. Elisa says no. Gita says yes. Arlene says no. Deborah says I feel have several. Yes, I will talk about that later. Latia says no, not a clue. Eric says in question. Maria says yes. Rosa says yes, I know a few of mine. Mel says, hey everyone. Hi Mel. Lupita is from Indianapolis. We have Mel from Brooklyn. Mel says she does. And we have Lily from North Carolina. Well, let's see how you feel about your purpose after this. So, since this month is all about spiritual activism, let's define it before we move on to today's specific topic. And I know I defined it last time, but there's new people here today, so let's repeat that real quick. What exactly is spiritual activism? Well, spiritual activism, as I see it, is the act of taking spiritual principles and practically applying them in the physical world in order to create a more egalitarian, inclusive, and collaborative place for ourselves and others. Okay, I'll repeat that one more time. Spiritual activism is the act of taking spiritual principles and practically applying them in the physical world in order to create a more egalitarian, inclusive, and collaborative place for ourselves and others. So what does spiritual activism have to do with finding and living your purpose? A lot. We already talked a little bit about this connection last week, but I really wanted to go deeper and make it really clear that living your purpose is spiritual activism. You take the spiritual principles of the spirit world, where your own spirit / soul / higher self resides, and then you apply them in the context of your purpose. Makes sense, right? All right, so now let's answer the questions that we wanted to answer today. Why is now a great time to step up and take action? Or why is now the time to step up and take action? Well, the invention of the internet, which is linked with the age of Aquarius, like this new age that is like emerging, has contributed to a lot of changes around the world that impact millions of people on all kinds of different levels. For example, it has contributed to the disruption of the music industry. Most people don't buy like physical albums anymore. You go online and you download your music. It has disrupted the news industry. We read our newspapers online, for example. It has disrupted how people shop, how we communicate with each other, and much more. At the moment, with Pluto and Saturn in Capricorn, so we're going into astrology a little bit, Pluto and Saturn in Capricorn, and they are about to merge with each other. Like, we go through major changes in government, politics, law, and big business, because that's what Capricorn represents. And Pluto is all about disruption, breaking everything down so that it can transform and build itself up in a completely new way. That's what Pluto is about. Like resurrection, like a phoenix First it has to die, then it can rise again. So, but before a new way of doing things emerges, we go through a phase where things seem to be breaking down and falling apart. And yes, I talked about like politics and big business and government. This is not just happening in one country. This is happening in several countries around the world. You might see it in the news. You might live in one of these countries. All the bad stuff surfaces. Trust is broken. The old ways don't work anymore. And which results in confusion and fear for millions of people. Because like when there's big change, it's like kind of like, what's going to happen? I don't know. Am I going to be okay? Are we going to be okay? This is where we light workers come in. And that's all of us. We are all light workers. We're all here because we hear the call of our spirit guides. We're all here because we want to connect with our spirit guides. And why is it that you want to connect with your spirit guides? So that they can guide you and create a better future for yourselves, but also for others. So as light workers, we are trained for these transition periods in history. So we decided to incarnate at this point so we can help others through these shifts and come up with a better future for all. We are essential in this transformation process. And if we hide from our responsibility, it will have consequences because only you can do the job you came here to do. No one else can do it for you. There is only one you. Let that sink in a little bit. There's only one you, and only you can do the job you came here to do. If you do not do it, no one else will be able to do it. No pressure. We all need to rise up and step up and like get going and live our purpose. Either by finding your purpose or by stepping deeper into your purpose. So if you already know, okay, this is the direction that my purpose wants me to go, then take the next step and go deeper into it. The good news is that you don't have to do it alone, obviously. Your guides are here to help, and they have been sending you signs all along. And this is true for each and every one of you, even if you think you don't know what your purpose is, even if you think you don't know who your guides are, even if you think you don't have any guides. They are still there, and they're still talking to you. And they're still sending you signs all the time. And now it's time to understand them and act on them. So how do you recognize the signs your spirit guide is sending you about your life's purpose? You might think you don't know who your guides are, but they are around you all the time, like I just said. They also communicate with you all the time. You might not be aware of this, like I said, because you approach the subject from the point of view of your 3D self, your human self, your ego self. And in our 3D world, communication works in a specific way. And so we expect communication between this realm and the spirit realm to be the same. And that is one of the main reasons why you do not hear your guides, because of expectations. And I did a whole show about that as well. So let me see, where am I? So yeah, your higher self / soul / spirit, I use these interchangeably just so you know, is fully aware of your ongoing conversation with your guides. And a big part of that conversation has to do with your purpose. They send you signs, symbols, and synchronicities to help you along the way. Now, here's the kicker. All you need to do to recognize these signs is to raise your vibration so you vibrate on the level of your higher self and see things from the perspective of your higher self instead of the perspective of your human limited self, your ego, because then you can't see. So raising your vibration is what you need to do to see the signs and be able to communicate with your guides. And of course, another great way to do so, oh, sorry, I forgot to say, you can raise your vibration by meditating regularly. That can be every day or once a week. Sure, when you do it once a week, it takes a little bit longer, but that's totally fine. We all have busy lives. So, but pick like one schedule that you stick to. If it's once a week, then go to your calendar and mark Wednesday morning, 10 a.m. every week, and say and label it meditation, and tell everyone that's my time for meditation. Leave me alone. Even if it's just 10 minutes, but if you put it on your calendar, you actually do it, and that's the whole point. So you can raise your vibration by meditating regularly, eating healthy food, so no processed foods, spending time in nature, just because nature is on a very, very high level vibrationally. And so if you immerse yourself in nature, it helps you to harmonize your own vibration. You can use mantras and affirmations, and you can help others. By helping others, you raise your vibration as well. So any of these things, you don't have to do all of them. Pick one and actually do them, and it will help you raise your vibration. You will see things from a more spiritual perspective because your lower self and your higher self are closer together and more merged, and so you can see things from the higher perspective, and you can communicate with your spirit guides because they're also up here and not down there. All right. Another great way to do this, like to raise your vibration, is to do regular spirit guide ceremonies, which include meditations as well. And of course, this is what we're going to do on October 26th. And we will first raise our vibration during the ceremony, and then set the intention to learn more about our life's purpose from our guides, and then let our guides show us the next step we can take to step deeper into our purpose. And obviously, I hope you will join us for the next ceremony next week, and you will be notified via email about the details. In the meantime, start looking out for signs, symbols, and synchronicities, and trust your intuition. Do not overthink things. If you see a fox 5 times over the next month, don't start overcomplicating things, overthinking things. Just take it as a sign. And if you don't know what it means for now, that's fine. Just take it as, okay, I saw a fox. I recognize that I saw a fox 5 times. I think there's a meaning behind it. I don't know what it is. And then you just go about your day and maybe ask your guides, what does that mean? And also, a lot of signs are very clear, but again, we overthink things. And so we tend to basically block ourselves. So again, do not overthink things. Now, how to discover your purpose by living with purpose every day. So this is how do I discover my purpose? For all of those of you who said no when I asked the question, do you know your purpose? And by the way, you do know your purpose. We all do. Again, it's like this, your higher self, spirit, soul knows your higher purpose. And you've gotten lots and lots of signs about it, and symbols about it, and synchronicities about it. It's just that, well, let me start here. Now, like how to discover your purpose. First of all, do not expect your guides to give you super specific instructions on what your purpose is. Sorry to disappoint you, but that is not how it works. Our life's purpose goes through many transformations and iterations. There is no such thing as figuring it out once and then you just do it for the rest of your life. If any of you have ever created a website, it's very similar. It's not like you create your website and that's it for the rest of your life. Things change. You will have to update your site. You have new things that you want to sell, so you have to add them to your site as well. Your description about yourself changes, and then you have to add it to the about page. You don't like the design anymore. Things change. The same is true for your purpose. So it needs to be updated, adapted, and upgraded from time to time. So our guides give us one hint at a time, one step that we can take at a time. If we don't act on that, they will just repeat the message in a million different ways until we get it. Like if your guides want to tell you something about a fox, maybe you have, let's say you're looking for a new job and you see a fox 5 times. And then you see an ad somewhere online that a company called Fox and Sons is looking for a marketing director. And that's exactly what you would like to do, but you're just a little bit afraid that you're not good enough, that you don't have the credentials. And so you see Fox number 1 and you're like, oh, maybe I should apply for that job. But nah, I'm not good enough. It's never going to work. You see Fox number 2. Oh, that's another fox. Maybe it is my spirit guides telling me I should apply. But I never went to college. I can't get that job. It's not possible. You dismiss it again. You see fox number 3. And you keep going like this. And that's where many of us get stuck. Because we want to know what the end goal is. We want to know that we are supposed to be an architect, or that our purpose is to be a hospice nurse. But in reality, it's like hiking up a mountain with the peak shrouded in clouds. Unless you put one foot in front of the other and take one action step at a time, you will never know what the top looks like. It's really about taking daily action on the guidance of your cosmic helpers. So you ask your guides, give me a hint, give me a sign so that I can take the next step on the journey to discovering my purpose. And then you have to follow up on it. So that in the end, actually, yeah, it's really about taking daily action on the guidance of your cosmic helpers, which lets you live with purpose every day. Because if you have like, okay, I saw the fox 5 times by now, maybe I should go apply. And then you take that action step. You update your CV, you go and apply for the job. And then once you have the job, maybe you get the next sign that says, now in this job, focus on, focus on bringing more conscious ways of doing marketing into this company. That's the next step. So then you have to start convincing people there that like conscious marketing is much better for their bottom line. And then when you do that, the next step might be that you're going to start your own company that advises other companies on how to do conscious and ethical marketing. But your guides are not going to tell you right from the start, you're going to start a business doing this and that. That's not how it works. You need to take one step after the other. All right, so and this lets you live with purpose every day, because every day you have a little step that you can take to live with purpose every day, so that in the end you look back and realize that you can now look down and clearly see the path that you have taken up to the top of that mountain and what your overall life's purpose actually was. And that's the secret. Like, we will not really know until the day we die, because only then can we see the whole picture and know what it was all about. So again, next week, I will lead you in a spirit guide ceremony during which you can ask your guides what your next step is. And then you need to act on it, because we need you. We need every single one of you. Remember, if you don't do your job, no one else can. So let us know on a scale from 1 to 10, how sure you are that you know your life purpose. So 1, not at all. 10, I think I'm pretty sure. Or at least life purpose for as you see it now. Because as we said, it develops over time. And those of you who said no, that you don't know your life's purpose, I'm pretty sure that you've gotten some signs. So even if you say maybe a little bit, then give it a 1. I'm not even letting you like type a 0 because I think that's not true. And I'm not trying to be hard on you guys. I was in the same boat. I always said, I don't know what my purpose is. I don't know what my purpose is. Now looking back, I got the signs. I just didn't act on them. And I knew on a certain level what it was. All right, so we have, yeah, hindsight is 2020, exactly. So Mel says 10, Arlene says 5, Angie says 3, Rosa says 5, Deborah says 8, Eric says scale 5, Lily says 5, Gita says 9, George says 1, Latya, I hope I pronounced her name right, says 1, Amanda says 5, Latya says 1, Karen says 8, Alyssa says 3, Rahul says 5, Maria says 10, and the form keeps changing, exactly. All right, and then we have, I'm not sure how to pronounce her name, Lee MG, who says no idea. All right, so for those of you who are not sure, like again, raise your vibration by eating healthy, meditating, even if it's just once a week for 10 minutes, go out in nature, do the things that you know that are good for you. Because it helps you raise your vibration. The higher your vibration, the easier it is for you to communicate with your guides and figure out your purpose. Again, there's no quick fix for this, but if you do these things and take action, it will help you figure it out. All right, so if you want to learn more, and I know I've been talking about this for a little while now, and I wanted to launch Spirit Guide Society a while back. It didn't work out because, like I said, I'm working on my book that will be published by Hay House next year, and it's taking a lot of my time. So I'll just see when I can open it, but I hope soon. So if you want to learn more about how to communicate with your spirit guides and use your spirit guides' wisdom to create real change in your own and other people's lives, I'm in the process of building this community called Spirit Guide Society. And it's bringing together spiritual seekers, light workers, spirit workers, and spiritual activists like you who are on a quest to create close relationships with their spirit guides. And we do this in order to develop our spiritual gifts, live with purpose every day in order to find our purpose, and design a better world in 2019 and beyond. And we will gather for weekly spirit guide communication practice sessions. So basically after the show, members of Spirit Guide Society will be able to join and practice what I taught during the show. And then once a month, we do the ceremony, which is about communicating with your guides and getting their input on the theme of the month and how you can incorporate it into your own personal life. So the goal is to make this world a more egalitarian, inclusive, and collaborative place for ourselves and others with the help of our guides. If this sounds like something you want to be part of, click like the green button below, and it will lead you to a page on my website where you can sign up for the wait list. It doesn't cost anything to sign up for the wait list, and it's just so I can let you know when the doors open and so you can join us. Yeah, also, if you sign up, you'll get automatically an email with a 10% discount code for a spirit guide reading with me if you're interested, as a little thank you. All right, now let's see if there are any questions. I'm sure there are. I saw you guys type. Let's see. April says, you did a mini reading for me a few months ago and you told me it was to channel energy. Yes, a lot of us, that's a theme that is true for a lot of us when it comes to our purpose, to channel energy. Sometimes we do it like I do when I like give you messages from your spirit guides. Other people do it through art or music. So when they create, they don't let their mind create, but they just like open up and channel energy that flows through them, cosmic energy that flows through them and flows into the creation. And then you have like doctors or lawyers who can do the same thing. You can channel energy in all kinds of ways. But yes, so channeling energy is a big one for a lot of light workers, especially if you work with star beings, because then you're connected to a different planet or star system. And oftentimes that's because like our star system and that star system need to be connected so that energy can flow back and forth. And so you're basically like, let's say, an ambassador or a diplomat. Let's see. Mel says heavy stuff. Yeah, I think that was about like that only you can do your job. Yes, that's heavy stuff, but it's true. Rosa says there's only one you. That's one of our powers. Thank you for the reminder. You're very welcome. Then Liam G says, how do I get to reach out to them through grief? Your spirit guides, I guess you're talking about, and I'm not sure if I understand you correctly, but I think I do. If I don't, please tell me. Excuse me. So if you're grieving, it's a little bit harder to connect with your guides, usually, not for everyone, but usually because your vibration is kind of low and down, because you're not feeling great. And that's totally normal. Do not beat yourself up. Do not try to get rid of your grief. Do not try to expedite the process of grieving. Just only focus like on you getting better, on you dealing with your grief, and the rest will come back all by itself. I personally know some mediums who connect people with their past loved ones who lost someone themselves and couldn't do the work anymore for a little bit, just because the grief is so heavy. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's part of life. And you can obviously try everything you want, but don't beat yourself up if it doesn't work the way you want it. Just let the process take its course and things will pick up again. But of course, it's also good for you while you're grieving to try and raise your energy as much as possible by eating healthy, by meditating, by journaling. Journaling is a big one when you're grieving, because you have a place to let all your grief out. And with grief comes oftentimes anger and disappointment and resentment and all kinds of things that we do not want to feel, but they're there, and journaling is great for that. So I hope that helps you a little bit, and I understood your question correctly. And she says, you are a really great teacher. Thank you for these classes. Oh, thank you. You're very welcome. Mel says, truth, have to learn the language of spirits. Exciting. Yes, and that's what I'm trying to teach you with the Spirit Guide Show, and specifically then also with Spirit Guide Society. Rosa says, what helped me to find my purpose is asking myself what I am passionate about. Ask yourself that. Yes, that is one of the things that, one of the boxes that needs to be ticked. Like your purpose is never going to be something that you hate doing. Like if you can't see blood, if you faint every time you see blood, your purpose is probably not being a nurse or a doctor. So definitely look at what you would do. Let me rephrase it. If you had $1 million in the bank, what would you spend doing during your life? What would you be doing? How would you spend your days, your everyday life? What would you be doing? Sure, a lot of people will say, oh, I'll just go to the beach every day. Yeah, well, let me tell you, I live on an island and I could go to the beach every day, but I don't because at some point you have enough beach and you still go, obviously, but maybe not every day. So what is it really that like speaks to your soul? What would you be doing even if you weren't paid for it? That's a great way to find your purpose. Then here's another question. No idea of my spirit guides, but for sure keep finding feathers on my way, and it is as if someone directs me to see them, pick them up and bring them with me. Yes, that is usually like feathers is a very typical signs from your spirit guides. Can be angels, can be ancestors. These two are the ones that usually send feathers, or it could be an animal guide if it's like a bird, for example. So if look at these three and feel it out. Which one do you feel mostly drawn to? And then that's another sign, basically. What you're interested in, what you feel drawn to are always signs when it comes to spirit guides and when it comes to your purpose. Arlene says, I see numbers all day. Yeah, well, what numbers do you see and what do they mean to you? Don't look it up on the internet. Do that later. But what does it mean to you, not to anyone else? Because these things, your guides talk to you in your own language. They use references from your own experiences. So their messages are very personal to you. If I see a 22, that can mean something completely different than if Arlene sees a 22. So keep that in mind. Okay. Lily says, I've gotten good at noticing signs, but I'm definitely guilty of overthinking. Synchronicities led me here, so I'm listening. Awesome. Yeah. I sometimes I feel like I'm a bit hard on you guys because I keep saying like, don't overthink it. Like it's your own expectations that are in the way. But believe me, like the same is true for me. I'm no better than you guys. And it's really just when it took me, I think 15 years to finally get it that my spirit guides were talking to me and how they were talking to me and what it all meant. In the meantime, I was like, okay, I have no clue what that means. So I'm hoping to make it faster for you guys. That's why I'm doing what I do. Then Zeep is saying, you talking about what? I think you came late, so I can't repeat everything, but generally we're talking about spirit guides and how they can help us find our purpose. Deborah says, is there any way to measure quantitatively where your vibration state is? And is there any way to measure increased vibration other than perhaps knowing you are more connected to spirit? Good question. I don't know if that's possible. You would probably have to ask someone who knows a lot about our biology. I do know that a lot of people, when they sit in the power, which is a specific kind of meditation to connect with the spirit world, that they feel like their heart is going faster, or that they start like that their body starts vibrating, and then you can feel that the vibration goes faster. Some people hear sounds and they hear that the sound goes higher, which also means that the vibration is higher. So there are signs like these that you can use to realize, oh, okay, my vibration is going higher. The other thing is you can pay attention to your emotions. The more elated, the more light, the more happy you feel, the higher your vibration. If you feel depressed and sad and angry, the lower your vibration. And again, there's nothing wrong with like these emotions. We all grieve, we're all angry, all these kinds of things. We don't want to like push that away. We want to work through that. But generally, it's a good idea to raise your vibration over time. Then we have, oops, I lost it. Oh, Liam G says, would you be able to talk to my spirit guides? Yes. And I'll be doing mini readings in a little bit. And you can also book a one-on-one session with me. And then I can tell you who your guides are. I can give you any messages they have for you. And you can ask them any questions you have. Again, you can click that green button, sign up for the list, and you'll automatically get a 10% discount code that you can use to book a reading. Mel says, sounds really cool. Will definitely add myself to the wait list. Awesome. Latya says, hopefully I can figure something out soon. My childhood sucked. My adulthood sucks. I'm frustrated and very tired of this world. I am really sorry to hear that you feel that way. One thing that I can recommend, especially if you've had a hard childhood, is to look at your childhood from a little bit of a different perspective. As in, okay, this happened to me. Now, what can I learn from that that helps me serve others? So, for example, unfortunately, there are too many people that have been sexually abused as children, and that is horrific and not fun to go through. But once you heal yourself from that, more or less, then you can look at it and say, okay, what have I learned from this? What have I learned, and what can I take from this and help others who might, for example, be going through the same thing? For example, you learned how to heal from that kind of abuse, and you can teach others how to do it. Maybe there's just a friend that you can help with this because she's going through the same thing. Or maybe you can start a website about it, or you can become a therapist who works with other people who go through this. So again, go back, see what you can learn from your situation, because this also can be a sign for what your purpose is. And now, of course, I have a feeling that my friend just arrived. Yes. Okay, guys, I'm really sorry. Give me 1 minute, all right? I'm so sorry, guys. Yeah, that's what happens when you do things live. All right, so where were we? Oh yeah, answering questions. Right, Lupita says, what can I make of seeing double digits often? 1111, 555. Again, pay attention to what these numbers mean to you specifically. And generally, I would say if you see signs like this, it generally means to pay attention in that moment, because basically the spirit world is saying, hey, we're here, pay attention. So pay attention, first of all, to what's happening inside of you, your own thoughts, your own emotions, your own whatever's going in your own intuition, what's going on inside of yourself, and then look at the world outside you. Look around, literally look around. Is there anything that's important right now? Anything that helps me answer my questions, or anything that stands out? Because often these numbers are just like a, hey, ping, wake up, pay attention. So try that. Rahul says, I think double numbers is a sign of awakening and alignment generally. Yes, basically, like it says, it gives you a ping that now you're aligned, you're connected with the spirit world. Pay attention to what's coming from the spirit world. And again, it can come as signs, it can come as synchronicities, symbols, anything like that. Katya says, if I've gotten signs, I'm either overthinking it or not noticing or know how to read them. That's practice, really just practice. That's why I'm going to start spirit guide societies, or you guys can like practice these things. It doesn't help to just do one ceremony. It doesn't work if you just take one class. You need to practice this just like every other skill. Like, we live in a Western society, and if you live in another country that's not in the West, then you're still influenced by Western society because it's the mainstream society at the moment. And so this kind of society teaches us that anything to do with the spirit world is bullshit. Sorry for my French, but they teach us this doesn't even exist. So of course you need some time. Your mind needs time to let go of these things that we learn, that all this isn't true, and to recalibrate your mind so that you can pick up on these things. It's totally natural. It takes time. Liam G says, I understood the question. Awesome. Rahul says, I mean, just thinking or suggesting about double digits are a sign of alignment. Yes. Gita says, my friends usually expect me to teach them yoga or meditation, give Reiki for free. I've read there must be an equal exchange of energy when we give something. I'm happy to teach for free. Is it beneficial to them? Can't type a question mark here. I totally think that there should always be an exchange. I don't think it's healthy to always be giving and giving and giving and giving and not receiving anything in exchange. I know there's like a big belief out there that if you have spiritual gifts, that you should do everything for free because it's a gift given by God. But my argument is, if you're great at baking bread, that's also a gift given by God. And no one expects you to go out there and bake bread for everyone for free. That's just not sustainable for anyone. So you can ask like for a small fee, like just $1 or €1 or £1, or you can ask them to do something else, maybe help you with in the garden or whatever it is. But like let there be an exchange. Also, if people have to invest something, time, energy, or money, they value what you have to give more. If you give stuff out for free, people don't value it as much. That's just how it is, because automatically people think, oh, it's free, it can't be that great. Mel says her one-on-one sessions are the best. Awesome. Thank you, Mel. Con says, how do you know it's a message from your spirit guides or angels from yourself and you speaking to yourself, if that makes sense? You mean your question is this how do you know if it's from your guides or if you're making it up? I would recommend you go to my Crowdcast channel. There is a whole show about this. And let me figure out the link real quick. I had it earlier and I posted it, but now I can't find it, of course. Okay, hold on. There you go. There you can find all past episodes, and the one that you're looking for, I think it's called Is It My Spirit Guides or My Imagination? So look for that and watch that one. Abby says, I got here late. I was wondering how to meet your spirit guides. Abby, that's not the topic today, but again, that link that I just posted, go there, and all the episodes of the Spirit Guide show that we had in September is exactly about this topic. So watch all of them. Watch all the shows in September. Start at the beginning of September because it builds up, and then in the end there's a ceremony. You can watch that one for free as well, and it doesn't matter that you watch the replay. You can still do it, no problem at all. It's still gonna work. Mel says, how can you find your spirit guides or their message when you feel emotionally disconnected? Take care of yourself first, so you feel emotionally like safe and connected again, because otherwise it's just not going to work. Like you can't, it's a little bit like, how do I run a marathon with a broken foot? It's not going to happen. So you need to take care of yourself first. That's step number one, and then go back to connecting with your guides. Rosa says, let go of the limiting beliefs that society brought you to believe. Exactly, but it's very hard to do that because most of our limiting beliefs, we are not aware of them. It's just so normal to have these beliefs that we don't realize it, and it takes time to let go of them. And that's why practicing and practicing and practicing is important. Kita says, true, free stuff is not taken seriously. Thank you. You're welcome. And then Liam G says, this is about exchange of value is so true. Yes. And Hero says, to get the mini reading, please type only newbie. Thanks, Hero. In fact, I think I'm gonna skip the mini readings today. I would have loved to do it, but I need to take care of my car. I'm really sorry about this. Again, that's what happens when it's live. But if you guys have, I'll stay on for maybe 5 more minutes. If you guys have more questions, let me know, because I'm happy to answer them. Oh, I didn't look in the ask a question section. So Rahul says, I have a question. Will the government start to disintegrate once the majority starts waking up to our purpose? That's a really big question that I can't answer. And also it depends where you live, which country. I have no idea. I just know that things are a bit crazy all around the world. And we really need to step up. So I'm sorry, but I really can't answer that question. I think that's it here. No worries, Hero. Hero, I still don't know if you're okay with the typhoon. Please let me know. Like, type in the chat if you're okay or not. All right, so if there are no more questions, then I'll just go. Again, I'm sorry. I'm not going to do the mini readings today, but I can't focus when he's out there looking at my car, and I hope that it's all going to be okay. All right, guys. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and definitely see you next week for the ceremony. All right. Thank you. Bye, guys.